3, 2, 1. Okay, in this video I'm going to go over polynomial long division. Alright, the idea with polynomial long division is you want to divide one polynomial by another. Before we actually get into the polynomial long division, let's review real quickly long division with numbers. So let's say, for the sake of example, I want to divide the number 21 into the number 672. Okay, what are the steps I'm going to do? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make an estimate. And that estimate is I take the first digit here and the first digit here and I divide them. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I'm going to use 3 as my estimate. And then I multiply 3 times 21, which is 63. And then I subtract. Alright, so that gives me 4. And then I bring down that 2. And then I just repeat the process, right? So I take that, and I divide. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. And I multiply 2 by 21, and I get 42. And that gives me 0 when I subtract. Alright, so that's the basic process. Alright, if I side by side this here, and instead of 21, I use 2x plus 1. And instead of 672, I use 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. Alright, I can pretty much mirror the steps that I took over here with the numeric division. I take my first term here and my first term here and I divide them. So I take 6x squared divided by 2x, and that leaves me with 3x. I multiply 3x times 2x and I get 6x squared. 3x times 1 and I get 3x. And then I subtract. So 6x squared minus 6x squared is 0. 7x minus 3x is 4x. I bring down my plus 2, and then I repeat my steps. So I divide this by this. So 4x divided by 2x is 2. And then I multiply 2 times 2x is 4x. And 2 times 1 is 2. And then I subtract. And I subtract 4x minus 4x is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Right? And that's how I divide. Alright, so over here you would say that 21 times 32 is equal to 672. Alright, so the equivalent over here is that 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 2, plus 2, is equal to 6x squared plus 7x plus 2, which is something you can verify easily enough by multiplying these two together, multiplying these two out. Okay, so let's look at a slightly more involved example, and we'll put a little more detail into it. Alright, so let's suppose that I want to, alright, let me move over here. Let's suppose that I want to divide x plus 2 into x to the third plus 5x squared plus 11x plus 4. Alright, so I'm going to follow the same process I did with that quick little example, but I'm going to write all my steps out. Alright, because sometimes that can help. So I want to divide x to the third by x. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do x to the third divided by x. That gives me x squared. Alright, so x squared is what goes up here. and then I multiply x squared by x plus 2. All right, so that gives me x to the third plus 2x. Okay, so that's what comes over here, x to the third plus 2x. Now I have to subtract all of that. All right, so when I subtract all of that, all right, that means really my signs in here are changing, right? So let me do a quick little red here. So that's going to make that minus and that minus. All right, so when I come back here now and combine these, I've got x to the third minus x to the third is 0, and I've got 5x squared minus 2x squared, whoops, 2x squared. No. Yes, 2x squared, sorry. 2x squared, and I have 3x squared. All right, now I have to bring down everything that's left. So plus 11x plus 4. And then I just keep repeating the process. All right, so now I'm going to take right here 3x squared. All right, so now I have 3x squared, and I'm going to divide that again by x. So I get 3x. It's positive, so I do plus 3x. And then I take 3x and I multiply it by x plus 2. So I get 3x squared plus 6x. So 3x squared plus 6x is what goes here, and I'm going to subtract it. And again, just like before, right, subtracting means these signs change. So I've got negative there and a negative there. So now when I go to subtract, 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0. 11x minus 6x squared is 5x. And I still have something I have to bring down here, so that's a plus 4. All right, so let's see one more time. All right, 5x. So I take 5x and I divide it by x. I get 5. So this is now plus 5 up here, and then I multiply 5 by x plus 2. So that's 5x plus 10. So 5x plus 10. Again, that gets subtracted. Alright, so again, I've got the sign change. Alright, that becomes minus. That becomes minus. So I subtract now 5x minus 5x is 0. 4 minus 10 is minus 6. Now I have nothing else to bring down, and I just want to confirm that this is as far as I have to go. So I take my term here, minus 6, and I divide it by x, and this I can't simplify. That means I'm done. But it also means I have a remainder. So when you have a remainder, just like you would with numbers, you take the remainder, put it over the divisor, and there's my answer. All right, so when I take, x to the third plus 5x squared plus 11x plus 4, and I divide it by x plus 2, what I get as an answer is x squared plus 3x plus 5 plus a remainder of negative 6 over x plus 2.